time lapses, everybody does them, well, apart from me, but how do you make it more interesting? Well, I have this from Syrp, spelled without the U. I know you can't eat it, it's not edible. It's the Syrp Genie Mini! It doesn't come with this really expensive tripod. That's my own. That's the model's own. Let me unscrew this. This thing here, it looks like an ice hockey puck. On the bottom, it's got a hole. It's always good to have a hole on the bottom to screw.
We love it.
Okay, on a serious note, this Syrp Genie Mini thing is a tiny motion control system. The build quality is superb. The texture is almost skin-like, well, like an adult toy skin, which adds a lot of grip.
We're going to set this up in a busy place, because otherwise it's just going to look like a still image with a moving sky. Lots of people here today on a Sunday. Let's find somewhere to set up for our time lapse. Boom.
Time-lapse is all about movement. You don't want to point your camera at a wall and call it a time-lapse. In a best-case scenario, you want your camera to move rather than being stationary. This will add extra production value to your shot.
That's a warning, guys. If you pull too hard on the head, it will come off. Eventually. So don't pull too hard. Take care. You only have one head. Time-lapse is all about exaggerating the time to make it more dramatic. There's no point in having stuff that doesn't move. Skies, clouds, yeah. But when you're in a place like this is perfect. So what is the point of this Syrp Genie Mini? It rotates. This makes the movement spinning around 360 a lot easier, a lot slicker, because power on. Show off. You can see it flashing, and if you look on the top, that's a Bluetooth icon because it works with your phone.
Yes, technically you could use a simple egg timer or something else to create a spin pad for your camera, but with a motion control system like the Genie Mini, you could easily use your app to control the speed, duration, and let it trigger your camera. Plus it's a lot smoother.
So it's quite easy to use. You've got several options there. Time-lapse, video, panorama, turntable, just in case you want a DJ. Alright, let's go for time-lapse. New time-lapse, you've got presets as well. And when you can move this, you'll see it moving to get to the start point, a new start point.
And the end point.
Yeah. Look, it's so easy.
The app from Syrp is well made. One of the best time-lapse apps I've ever used. Fast, responsive, and easy to use. You can even add ease in and out to your time-lapse shot. Plus you can switch to other apps while it starts shooting time-lapse.
I mean, if you're doing a time-lapse for much longer than 9 minutes, which is what we're doing, say, you know, half an hour or something, maybe longer, you don't want to be you want to use your phone for something else. It's a nice thought. Didn't get paid by Syrp, by the way, just saying. But they do make some nice gear. I mean, they make some user-friendly gear. With time-lapses, lens on manual focus because you don't want it changing focus in between each shot, it'll mess it up. Also manual everything basically, manual exposure.
You do want to set everything to manual to avoid flickering and other artifacts. Another thing to note is if you're using your camera's own time-lapse function rather than letting the Genie Mini to trigger it, you want to set the Genie Mini's movement to continuous rather than stepping. This will make sure the camera moves in a consistent phase.
It's on 100th of a second shutter speed, although maybe I could have put it down a little bit just to smooth it out.
So that's why you need ND field for this.
Yes. As you can see, with a 100th of a second shutter speed, it looks a little bit kind of jittery. If you're just getting into video, get an ND filter, they're incredibly useful. Okay, now we can stop down exposure, i.e. make it slower, the shutter speed.
An ND filter is an essential accessory if you want to shoot time-lapse. If you want that sweet motion blur, go get a good ND filter that doesn't have color shift or cross effect.
Okay, so that's the time lapse. Works great, doesn't it? It's actually good having camera that creates time lapse in camera. One thing I hate is having to deal with, yeah.
This probably looks a bit silly, but using a C300 Mark II to do time-lapse actually is a really good choice. You don't need to process raw data, you get a normal video file with C-Log2 gamma curve. Plus the C300 Mark II has internal ND filters and great dynamic range.
Yeah, so here we are taking number one. I love this thing. How can you love a small, tiny, spherical object so much? But this is great. I mean, if you want something to up your visual game, invest in something like this. You can have this, you can have one camera just doing the time lapse, doing its thing in the corner, and you can be out filming some other stuff.
Overall, the Genie Mini is a great accessory. It really boosts up your production value. And if you're feeling really fancy, you can actually have two of them and a pan and tilt bracket. Then it will become a 2-axis motion control system. You can even add another turntable module to turn it into a turntable, not for playing vinyl records. At the end of the day, for shooting time lapses, you really need to find a beautiful location to shoot it, where you can really maximize the potential of all this lovely gear.